What if I told you that John Cena versus The Undertaker, a match fans begged for, was once set to steal the show, but never truly happened the way it should have? Or that Kurt Angle versus Bret Hart, a technical dream for the ages, was actually discussed behind closed doors, only to be shelved forever? These aren't just rumors. These are WrestleMania matches that almost happened. And if they had, they might have rewritten wrestling history. WrestleMania has long been known as the grandest stage of them all, where legends collide and careers are defined in front of the world. But for every WrestleMania moment we witnessed, there are others that nearly came to life, before being crushed by injury, backstage politics, timing issues, or creative shifts. Today, we're peeling back the curtain and diving into the near-mythical matchups that were just within reach, but never quite made it to the spotlight. These almost matches are more than missed opportunities. They're lost chapters in wrestling lore. Let's start with John Cena versus The Undertaker. While they technically did face off at WrestleMania 34, it was more of a last-minute attraction than the full-scale, emotionally driven storyline fans had envisioned. The real match, the one WWE had planned, was supposed to go down at WrestleMania 32, where both legends were still active and in better physical shape. Fans expected a true passing of the torch or a defining battle of legacy, but an injury to Cena derailed the build-up, and when the moment finally came 2 years later, it felt rushed and hollow, more like a consolation prize than the epic clash it could have been. Then there's the pure wrestling fantasy, Kurt Angle versus Bret the Hitman Hart. Two of the most technically sound, submission-based wrestlers in WWE history. This was a dream that nearly came true in the early 2000s, when Angle was at the peak of his run, and WWE was still open to the idea of bringing Hart back in some capacity. Unfortunately, Bret's post-concussion retirement and his strained relationship with WWE at the time put the brakes on everything. To this day, fans still imagine what that match would have looked like, how the ankle lock and the sharpshooter might have battled for dominance on the biggest stage in the world. Another huge what if involves Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Hulk Hogan. WrestleMania 18 gave us Rock versus Hogan, but many insiders say Vince McMahon's original vision was Austin versus Hogan, two of the company's most iconic draws finally clashing. But behind the scenes, things were complicated. Austin reportedly didn't like the creative direction and wasn't interested in working with Hogan. Combine that with differing in-ring styles and egos, and the result was one of the biggest almosts in WWE history. It's the kind of match that sells itself on name value alone, but backstage tension kept it from ever becoming reality. One of the most requested matches in recent memory never got its WrestleMania moment either. The Shield Triple Threat. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose were arguably the most dominant and well-booked faction of the modern era. Their breakup was explosive. Their solo careers, especially Reigns and Rollins, have reshaped the WWE landscape. Fans waited year after year for a true triple threat clash at WrestleMania between the three brothers in arms. And while they did have a match at Battleground 2016, it felt like a placeholder. WrestleMania is where that story deserved its final chapter, but creative indecision and timing issues robbed us of what could have been an emotionally charged, era-defining war. But perhaps no missed match stings more than The Rock versus Shawn Michaels. Think about it. Two of the most charismatic performers in WWE history, masters of in-ring storytelling, iconic in their own rights, yet they never shared a WrestleMania ring. Why? Well, as the story goes, there was long-standing tension, possibly stemming from comments made by Michaels during the 90s that reportedly didn't sit well with The Rock or his family. Whether that grudge was real or exaggerated, the match was never seriously booked. And that's a shame, because Rock versus HBK could have been the most electrifying match in WrestleMania history, balancing showmanship, athleticism, and deep-rooted tension in a way few matches ever could. These are the matches that almost happened. They represent the fragile balance of wrestling's unpredictable nature, where timing, health, and relationships all need to align to create magic. But when they don't, we're left with stories that fans continue to tell, speculate on, and wish for, even years later. These lost matches are a reminder of what makes wrestling so unique. Sometimes the best stories are the ones we never got to see unfold. So now we want to hear from you. Which near-miss WrestleMania match breaks your heart the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you missed our last video on the dream matches that need to happen, make sure to check it out. Because when it comes to WrestleMania, the past and future are full of drama, and we're here to cover it all.